When we were younger, didn't we all imagine our 30s to be this magical age where everything would be perfectly figured out? The career, the relationships, the dream life. It was all supposed to fall into place like some kind of fairy tale. But now that I've hit 30, let me tell you, reality looks very different. And that's not a bad thing. In this episode, I'm sharing 30 real, raw, and relatable lessons I've learned so far. Let's just bust some of those myths about where we're supposed to be and just celebrate the messy, beautiful journey of figuring it all out. Welcome to the Mindful Introvert podcast. I'm Joe, your guide from mindfulintrovert.com on a mission to inspire and empower you. As an inner peace and abundance coach, I'll help you slow down, trust your intuition, and explore spirituality for a more peaceful life. Ready to be empowered? Let's dive into today's episode and embark on your journey to self discovery and fulfillment. Feeling lost or stuck, wondering what's next on your journey? Introducing Mystic Meets Oracle card readings that go beyond fortune telling. Discover the clarity, confidence, and connection you've been seeking. Each reading is a sacred experience guiding you to align with your inner wisdom and manifest your deepest desires. Whether you're facing a tough decision or simply curious about the path ahead, Mystic Meets is your key to unlocking the magic within. Ready to find your true path? Book your Mystic Meets Oracle card readings today. Your journey to self discovery starts now. Mystic Meets, where the magic of the universe meets you. So, yes, I'm 30, just turned 30 2 days ago, and I thought that it would be really nice to share some of the wisdom and the lessons I've learned throughout the years, especially in my 20s, let's say, and just talk a little bit about the expectations versus reality, maybe go over some areas of our life like career and purpose and relationship, personal growth, well being. So, just talk a little bit about each aspect and really share those lessons with you. So I think that by the time I don't know, when I was like a teenager, maybe like 15 or something, I would look to someone that was 30, and first of all I would think that they are incredibly old. They're like midlife, which clearly is not true. If anything, is like a third life, right? Like one third of a life, or even quarter life. I don't know. Maybe not quarter life. Oh well, here I am going on a tangent. Doesn't matter. So I thought that by the time I would be 30, I would have my life figured out. I would have maybe kids and a husband and a house and all of that, because I think that's what society kind of tells us to want, and what we see on social media, what we see on films, what we see in the external reality, right? And there's a lot of pressure. I've always felt a lot of pressure to figure everything out throughout all areas, all ages, really. When I was 15, I felt the pressure to figure out what I wanted to study in high school, because I had to go down more of a literature or a science or whichever route I would take. And I chose science, but I was good. Well, good. I was average, I guess, at everything. And I really enjoyed everything. But I just decided to go with science, and then deciding to go to university, deciding what to study at 18. I was 17, I think. Yeah, I wasn't even 18. So that age was all very problematic as well. And then finishing university, and then what am I doing with my life? What am I going to do? And then at 23, coming to the UK alone and just pursuing a career that I thought I enjoyed, but then turns out I didn't. And then at 28, quitting my job and just going full in my coaching. So every age, I felt like, oh my God, like I'm pivoting completely. I have no idea what I'm doing, what I want. And at the end of the day, it's okay to pivot. And it's letting go of that timeline that you thought it would make sense for you, and that pressure as well, because it's really unrealistic. And I can tell you, I was in a 7-year relationship. I bought a house at 26, and then I just realized that I was unhappy, even though my whoever saw my life externally, they would see, oh, she has a relationship that she's been for a long time with this person, and she bought a house, and she has a good career. She's progressing in her career, having opportunities as a biomedical scientist. She has her side hustle with coaching, and she has friends, and she has loving parents. Everything seems good, right? And then I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy in all areas, to be honest. All areas in my career, I wasn't happy in my career. So I had to pivot, and it was very challenging to give myself the permission to pivot. And it's okay, because I feel like, especially for my parents, it was quite challenging for them to understand, because in their time, you had a career for life, and that was it. And you studied, or you got specialized in a certain career, and you would do it for the rest of your life. Nowadays, things are a little bit more different, and they're not so constant and safe and stable. So our changes, we just change. We have different interests, we have different opportunities as well. So I pivoted, and that was it. And I think, especially millennials, we take a lot more in consideration what fulfills us and what is meaningful for us, not just that is profitable, okay? Or that you just have to climb the corporate ladder, or we just signified, is that a word? Oh my God, why am I struggling with my English today? I don't know, like we just gave a new meaning to success, and we just want something more fulfilling for our lives in terms of our career. And then relationships, like I said, I learned to stand my ground, to understand my self-worth. I'm still ongoing. I think it will be ongoing for a long time, or even forever. But just establishing those connections and establishing that relationship with myself, and understanding that it doesn't matter not to have like a lot of friends, but you definitely want to have those good friends. And romantic relationships, this is where I struggled because I think I have a very fairy tale idea of relationships. I blame Disney, and I blame myself for watching so many romantic comedies, to be honest. But that's not life. And if it is, people are love bombing you. And that is something that I've just worked on and maybe continue to work on. But really understanding those boundaries are a form of self-love. And I actually have one of the lessons about that. And then is in the realm of personal growth and self-awareness. That's where I feel like I've done the most progress. Again, it's still ongoing. It will always be ongoing. But is just giving myself the permission and the curiosity to know what I like, and to know who I am outside of being in like with my parents, or being with a romantic partner. Just understanding what I want to do for myself. And I've traveled alone, and that is just the most experience. That is the most amazing experience ever. I went to the Maldives 2 years ago for my birthday alone for 2 weeks. That was a great manifestation of mine. This year I traveled alone to Ibiza. So it was just really, really good to have that time for myself and just enjoy whatever I want to do, and just change my mind whenever I want to, not having to take into consideration anyone's desires. And that allows me to not dim my light as well. And I don't want to go too much into it, because that's one of my lessons as well. But the reality is that you are allowed to change your mind and your dreams. And that's why the more I've gotten older, the less I talk about my dreams to people, because then they're like, oh, and what about this? And what about that? You said you were going to do this. You said you were going to do that. And then I've just changed my mind. That's kind of who I am. I change my mind, or I pivot, or sometimes I get bored and I drop things and I do something else. So it's okay. You're figuring out. You don't have to figure it out completely. My mom says, oh, you're always changing your mind. Just stick to it and make it work, which maybe there is a point to it, but I don't know. Sometimes I get bored. Sometimes I just want some innovation, something new coming. But yeah. So I've done therapy, I've done coaching, I've done quite a lot of things for my self-development, and that I feel like it helped. But what it helps the most is really improving communication with yourself and understanding that there is no perfection. Perfection is overrated. And just letting go of that perfectionism, giving myself more grace, and treating myself better. And yeah, this just understanding the financial literacy is so important. So understanding budget, understanding investments, and understanding what is best for me right now. When I got separated from my partner at the time and we sold our house, I got quite a good profit. And so I thought, oh, should I just buy another house? But there was so much that I wanted to do. I wanted to travel. I wanted to do some more courses. So eventually I said, you know what? Maybe buying a house is not the best solution for me right now, especially because I don't know if I want to just ground myself here. So that was not it for me. And yeah, just the mindset shifts, doing a lot of comparison, and especially with social media, and yeah, not wanting to live for the external validation and society's expectations. And I feel like the 30s will be very good for me, because I feel like I am giving less and less attention to what other people want for my life or expect or think that I am like, and I am just exploring way more what I want and what feels right for me. So maybe let's go over some of the lessons. So I would say that the first lesson is that if you don't choose a day to rest, your body will do it for you. And I'm sure this is a quote that someone said. I don't know who it is, but just let me know if you do. And I really like it because it is super right, and it happened to me. I burnt out. It's like if you go with like nonstop, not taking a moment to connect to your body, to see how you're truly feeling, connect to your intuition, your body will do it for you. You will receive some sort of signal from your body. And so super important to rest. And in fact, the first episode on this series is taking a break guilt-free. Definitely go and listen to that one because it's very good. And then the second lesson is what you are not changing, you're choosing. Again, I feel like this is also a quote, but I think is very impactful, because if you're not doing something about it, it's still a choice. If you're not responding, that is still a choice. That is still a response. Silence is a response. Inaction is a response. So definitely be very mindful of what you are not changing and you are accepting. And then my third lesson was to really complain less. No one likes someone that is always complaining and always bringing the energy down. Be very mindful of the energy you're bringing to the table and how you are impacting the environment and people around you. So stop feeling sorry for yourself and do something about it. So this feeling sorry for yourself, I think there is a moment for everything, and you can feel sorry for yourself for a certain amount of time. Sometimes I just cry and I'm like, oh my oh, poor me. But then I'm like, okay, snap out of it. You've done crying, you've done processing. It's enough. Let's go. Do something about it. Complain less, and complain less to yourself as well. Like, don't be saying, oh, it's so gloomy out. I don't want to go for a walk. I don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. Just get up and do it. Have that accountability for yourself. Mother yourself. Parent yourself. The fourth lesson is protect your energy. The same way that you want to be mindful of the energy you bring to the table, you want to be mindful of how other people's energies are impacting you, and you need to protect yourself because you don't want to be receiving unwanted bad mojo and you need to protect yourself. I've created my own way to do this for myself, and I've also shared with a lot of my clients, a lot of my friends, and it has been very impactful for them. And then you build on this, you create your own little visual and somatic ways to protect your own energy. So if this is something that you want to learn more about, please let me know. Just reach out to me on Instagram at the Woo Woo Scientist, and I will tell you more about it. So the fifth lesson is talk less, do more, but more importantly, be more. So if you want to be more successful, if you want to be whatever you want to be, you have to become that person. And if you're not that person yet, it's not by talking your way that you're going to achieve it. It's by feeling it, by visualizing it, by connecting to it somatically, and manifest that reality for yourself. So the sixth lesson is just connect to people and do active listening, just to have more meaningful conversations. I've connected with so many people in my 20s that have been just amazing experiences. And I've done that because I have been actively listening to them, not wanting to come back to an answer straight away. And mind you, this is very challenging for me because sometimes I find myself interrupting people and it's not because I'm being arrogant or I'm being superior or anything. Maybe sometimes that's what it comes across, but my intention is because I'm so excited about the conversation, and just my mind races a lot. I think very fast, and so I just get very excited, and I want to create the momentum in the conversation where it's just like bam, 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 bam. But then there are a lot of people that are maybe more kinesthetic people that need a little bit more time to process the concepts or to just feel the vibe. And there I am, just boom, 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 boom. And it doesn't really work so well. So active listening, stop, breathe, pay attention to what they're saying. Wait a moment before you come up with your own answer and your own reply in your mind. And that will make things so much more meaningful. And the seventh lesson is to embrace the silence. Embracing the silence can be quite challenging. Sometimes it's silence within yourself, just doing some meditation, doing some mindfulness exercises. Sometimes it's silence when you're in a room with other people, loved ones or co-workers or whatever it might be. Whenever there's silence, you wait. And you're not just the first one to talk to end the silence, because there is a lot of wisdom in silence. And we're constantly processing information in our brain. We're constantly thinking. And sometimes vulnerability comes when there is space and there is a sensation of safety. So that is created with silence. So the eighth lesson is learn to trust yourself and your intuition. And I'm still working on this. I do it very well some days, and other days I avoid my intuition because I prefer to pay attention to my ego a little bit more. And that is a little bit of a toxic trait, but We cannot be perfect all the time. So, yeah, just listening to your intuition a bit more, trusting yourself more. I'm sorry if you can hear a little beeping sound in the background, because I've had my smoke alarm is without battery and I've just changed it, but it keeps beeping. So certainly I haven't done what I needed to do. So I need to figure that out. But yeah, trusting your intuition, trusting that your body, your unconscious mind knows best, because the ego sometimes is clouded by fear, judgment, and a lot of other things. So the 9th lesson is befriend the ego. So the idea is not to kill the ego or to take away power from the ego. You cannot let it just run your life, for sure, but it's understanding and treating the ego as your 7-year-old, and that part of you that is scared, that feels lonely, that feels frustrated, angry, whatever it is that needs to be paid attention to. And if you imagine it as your like younger self, like a child, is much easier to manage, because you're not going to be angry at your ego and you're not trying to avoid it. If it's yelling, if it's giving you anger outbursts, or if it's giving you attachment issues, whichever it is there for a reason. So pay attention to it and befriend it. So the 10th lesson is be able to distinguish alignment from fear and misalignment. This one is a tough one, but that's why the silence is very necessary, because you need to be aware of your baseline in your body, like your neutral state. And then whenever you're feeling fear or misalignment, you are recognizing that it's just, it can be like the ego that is giving you a lot of fear and resistance, or it can be your intuition telling you, okay, like this is really not for you. You shouldn't be going down this path. And then you're able to also recognize alignment, because it's feeling like, oh, this feels so good. I feel so at peace. And sometimes this alignment is not this ecstatic feeling. It's just feeling at peace, feeling content, even though I don't really like that word, but that is what it is, feeling content and at peace. So the 11th lesson is understand that people and opportunities and situations, they're just not meant to last forever and just stay the same exactly as you first initially met them and came into your life. So people and things and situations and opportunities, they come and go, and we really need to surrender and accept things for that they are, for what they are, and people for who they are, because nothing is constant and forever. So that sometimes hurts a lot, but is very necessary for our own emotional management. And that leads me to the 12th lesson, that is be comfortable in the unknown. How would you do this? Yeah. So it's understanding that whatever happens, it will work out, because something better is coming along. And when you have that idea that something better is coming along and you have it in you to fix this or to feel better about it, whatever is discomforting is going to pass as well. And you know that is not permanent. So learn to be comfortable or be at ease or have that inner dialogue that you can manage yourself better and to get out of that situation or to go through that situation. 13th lesson is stay true to your values. Don't mold yourself to others or dim your light. So this is super important. And I have another one on people pleasing as well. But it's super important not to dim your light, because when you are dimming your light, you are really lowering your vibration and you are just basically becoming the same as everyone else. And with that, there's no growth, there's no expansion. Because if you're different, if you're shining bright, you may very well be inspiring others to shine bright as well. And if you're dimming your light to be like them, to be like your peers, to be accepted and just included, you're really doing a disservice to everyone. So stay true to what you believe in. The fourth lesson is you are only too much for the wrong people. This is super important. And it took me a while, maybe like years, to realize, because I've been told I'm too sensitive, I'm too this, too that, I'm too much, I demand too much. But you're only too much to the wrong people, because when you find someone that loves you, when you find someone that accepts you, admires you, looks up to you, and just accepts you, really, you're not too much. You're just yourself. And so if you're with someone that tells you you're too much, you're this, you're that, and tries to unconsciously dim your light, don't accept it. Don't accept it, because you deserve better. And that leads me to the 15th lesson, that is, no point being the right package at the wrong address. It's just like you just need to know when to pivot and when to know your worth. And that's what I did when I left that 7-year relationship. I said, you know what? I'm not too much of this or too much of that. I'm just with the wrong person. I'm just at the wrong address. I am the right package, just not for this person and not for this address. So I had to shift things. And this does not come easily, but it comes with a lot of courage as well. And then the lesson 16th is a little bit more into the finance. I would say that I've learned to spend a minimum of 10% of my monthly income on myself. So just doing activities, just doing something that I enjoy, going to the cinema, dancing. I take a lot of dance classes that are not the most cheapest dance classes ever. So is really taking that 10% and being mindful of your budget, being on top of your money, and treat it as your friend as well. Because if you're afraid of it, you're going to scare it away. So there's that for the finances. And the 17th lesson is there's more sides to each story than just two. We just need to look at all the possible angles and interpretations, really like a fly on the wall. And we can do this for ourselves as well, and put ourselves outside of the situation and see how we have behaved, how can we improve. So that is a very humbling experience, because you really need to be detaching from yourself to be able to recognize your flaws, recognize what you did right. So super important exercise as well. And lesson 18, create your own reality by being specific on what you desire. Know why you want it and feel it and embody it as if you've received it. This is basically the basis of my work, and what I've been doing, especially with the somatic manifestation with my clients, is understanding what you want, of course, and knowing the purpose, what for, why you want it, and find ways to embody it, become it, allow yourself to receive it in your body, in your reality. So definitely an amazing work that I have been developing with my clients. The 19th lesson, journaling, specifically scripting, is really your best friend, because you get to process stuck emotions, and you're also actively manifesting and creating your dream life. I can tell you that this is what I did a lot. I have a notebook with my scripting where I would write my ideal days, and right now I am living that reality. So obviously that right now my life has evolved where I would be scripting my ideal day to be different. But that's the reality of life. You evolve, your reality changes, and you want different things, and that is progress, that is growth, that is good. But it's quite nice to have something to look back and say, oh my God, I was manifesting this and it felt like sometimes so distant at that time. And right now I have it and I can be grateful for it. So that is really, really cool. And then the 20th lesson is be bold. Follow your own path, even if no one else agrees or understands. It's so important to be bold, make not risky choices, but definitely bold, courageous choices because they align with yourself. And it doesn't matter if people think that you're crazy. I thought myself to be a bit crazy myself when I quit my job and I just went all in my coaching. But I just felt it, that it was my path. And not a lot of people understood, but the ones that do understand, they're by my side, and I'm very thankful. I'm still thankful for those that don't understand because sometimes it's in that contrast that I get momentum and I get the strength to continue. So everyone is valid. So the 21st lesson is improve the communication with yourself and be kind as if you'd be talking to a loved one. So super, super important that I feel like no one really does. And this is something we need to practice because for others, we don't see their flaws as we see our own flaws. So we are much more accommodating and compassionate and kind to others if they make a mistake or if they're going through a difficult time or if they're just shaming themselves for something. We tend to be way, way kinder. So if we give ourselves that kindness and that compassion and communicate with ourselves in a way that we are accommodating and supporting to ourselves, I think we would have a much better reality and we would progress and grow much, much faster. So the 22nd lesson, having healthy boundaries is extremely sexy. Having those boundaries is necessary. We need to really have those boundaries for ourselves as well, which means that we understand what we want, how we want to be treated, what we're accepting and what we're not accepting. And sometimes we don't need to communicate these boundaries to others. We just impose them. We just show with our energy, with our actions, those boundaries as well. And this sometimes means that you will lose people in your life, but if you lose them, is because the boundaries did you a favor. If they don't respect you or if they don't accept those boundaries, it means that it would never work out anyway. So the 23rd lesson is that you can be an empowered, direct, and assertive woman without being arrogant or losing humility. And I feel like this is what a lot of women, still with a lot of patriarchy, they feel is that they cannot be their strong self because men and other women, especially, it's so interesting how other women want to put these people down because sometimes they're shining so bright that they wanted to shine as well, but for some reason they feel like they cannot. And so they want to bring people down. And that's just so sad. So you can be empowered. In fact, again, it's very, very necessary that you are empowered and you show up confident, because that teaches other women, other like people, men, whatever, that you have your own place in this world and you're worthy and you know you're worthy. So that is all good. And then the 24th lesson is wanting more out of life doesn't mean you're ungrateful for what you have. So if you're not happy with something in your life and you want to change it, that does not mean you're ungrateful. You can be extremely grateful, extremely pleasing with what you have, and still desire more, still want to change, and get more, be more, do more. So I don't think it has to do with gratitude. You can want more out of life for sure. And the 25th lesson is that money only enhances what you already are. So I feel like a lot of people say, oh, millionaires, rich people, this and that, they're all arrogant, they're all bad people, they're all thieves and whatever. I don't think that is true. There are lots of people, of rich people that are very charitable, and they are very supportive of the community, of their own families, and they do a lot of good for the world. So I think it's really enhancing, the money really enhances what your personality really is like. So I think we need to dissociate a little bit of that idea that money brings problems, money brings confusion and arguments and trouble, and because it really only enhances what is already there. The 26th lesson is live to make your 90-year-old version of yourself proud. As in, like, when you imagine yourself at 90, if you look back, if they would be happy and proud of yourself, if they would change something in their lives, and live accordingly to that, but at the same time, live for your present self. Is the idea that you have a little bit of a toe in the future, but you're living for your current present self. So it's an important balance to operate from. 27 lesson, people pleasing only drains you. It just takes away all of your essence. It just drains you, is not worth it. People respect you way more when you are taking care of yourself and you are true to yourself. So 28th lesson is focus on being instead of doing or having. So really be at peace and be fulfilled and be kind and be whatever you want to be, instead of just doing the things that you think you should be doing because it will lead you to somewhere, because that is just too calculating and it's really not working out. Whereas you're just being from the heart, I think it takes you a little bit further. Then the 29th lesson is succeeding in life is much more a matter of attitudes and willingness and how determined you are, how disciplined you are, rather than how intelligent, how smart, how big of an education you have. Because a piece of paper doesn't take you long, doesn't take you very far, but that willingness and that desire and that determination and the attitude that you have towards things, that is what will make you succeed. So I think, yes, of course, it's important to have education, and I did my degree. I don't regret it because it led me to where I am today. But I think that is far more valuable to have those interpersonal skills and to have your own determination to succeed. And then the final lesson is embrace the fear and go all in. Is really surrender, go with the fear, go with everything, accept whatever comes your way, flow with it, and just really go with it, because there are external forces that we don't even know what their impact in us is, so we really need to trust. And maybe a bonus lesson is that you are an expert at being yourself. And I think that this is very powerful because I feel like everyone really experiences in some point in their lives the idea that they're not worthy, they're not good enough. And I've seen people tell me, oh, I'm not an expert, I'm not good at anything. And I thought that for myself as well. I had so many passions that I wasn't really an expert in any of them. And you are the expert. You are the best person at being yourself. So you are the expert of something. Really harness the best in you. Focus on what you offer to your family, to the community, to society, to yourself. And you're the expert. There's no one else that can do a better job at being you than yourself. So I wanted to leave you with that. And I also wanted to leave you with the message that if you want to have an oracle card reading just for this week alone, for Black Friday and until Cyber Monday, I'm gonna do an offer. So it's quite a discount that is available on the website for the oracle card. So if you want to have that, if you want to have that connection to the oracle, connection to the universe, maybe understand some things about your own life, your personality, the things that you can improve on. It's honestly really, really cool because we do 11 cards, one for each area of your life and for each aspect of your life that we can explore. And it's just amazing experience. I get to connect to your energy and we get to have a really cool moment. So book yours at a discounted price for Cyber Monday and Black Friday. And I am very, very happy to meet you there. And I'll see you on the next episode. Bye. Thank you for joining me on the Mindful Introvert podcast. I hope you found inspiration to harmonize your mind, body, and spirit. If you're ready to explore your journey further, book a free inner peace assessment call with me at mindfulintrovert.com or use the link in the show notes. Together, we'll uncover the steps to manifest your dreams. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at the Woo Woo Scientist for daily tips and inspiration. Let's connect and continue this journey together.